Good evening, everybody. This is SPC Wells World 2008 with a video on the potential for a severe weather outbreak that may occur on Thursday across the southeast. I'm talking Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and even portions of Arkansas and Louisiana. Before we get started with this video, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and make sure to hit the notification bell while you're subscribing so you do not miss an upload from my YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, let's hop into this video. So, as you guys can see, I have the NAM positive reflectivity model up, as this is coming in the range of this potential severe weather outbreak. I think the areas to watch would be south central Mississippi. I saw some scary stuff earlier when I was checking the models on the significant tornado parameter, which we will get into later on. But first, we'll start off with our reflectivity. So, as you guys can see, as we go through the day tomorrow, there might be some scattered showers and thunderstorms across portions of central Alabama and Mississippi, as the instability values will jump into maybe the mid to upper hundreds, into maybe even 1,000, which would be supportive enough for some isolated strong storms, but I don't expect anything crazy. But as you guys can see, a wave of rain is going to come through. But then, as you guys can see, there's a dry sector. That's what we need to talk about. There's a dry sector across Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee, including Tennessee. There's a dry sector, warm sector that's going to be for. And you guys see these nasty lines of showers and storms. And that's pretty much where it cuts off. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the rest of the model runs. As you guys can see, some Cape will shoot up, but that's not the main event. As you guys can see, actually, on Thursday, look at these Cape numbers. Especially across Mississippi, we have the 70s, but across Tennessee and Alabama, we have mid to upper 60s, which is supportive enough. We also have, dew points all the way up into the mid 60s into southern Indiana and Illinois. That's crazy. I actually want to take a quick sounding near Mississippi, see what's going on there. So we have a PDS tornado, which we'll dive more into that as we go on with the video. Then a cold front's going to swoop in back down to our west. It's going to be extending from the line. There is actually a little bit of uncertainty of how far north the warm front and the instability for severe weather will make it. So Tennessee, you're very uncertain. You are uncertain. Areas north of Tennessee, areas north of Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. Unfortunately, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia is kind of guaranteed to get severe weather. But as we go extend to the northeast, Tennessee is a little bit more uncertain. But if the 2 points in the temperatures and the warm front can make it, unfortunately, I say Tennessee just hasn't good enough threat just as Alabama. Sorry, guys, I cannot talk today. But what I was trying to say is that Tennessee would have just as good a threat as Alabama and Mississippi would. There we go, got it out finally. So we'll go to our mixed layer Cape. So you guys can see this model wants to bring a lot more Cape up into Tennessee with scattered. Look at those. We have 2,500 joules in central Mississippi, which would be definitely supportive for severe weather. And that's when the model cuts off. But, look at these. There's still favorable numbers in West Tennessee, which would probably produce a good risk of severe weather. Oops, I want to go to most unstable. Jeez. We got to go to most unstable Cape. And it brings stuff into West Tennessee. So, I'm going to take a sounding in northeast Mississippi. Tornado, 71. So, it's going to be very unstable, especially by the time we reach early afternoon across Tennessee, too. I'm going to take a sounding where I live, too, because I just want to make sure I'm going to be okay. I'm just saying, I just want to make sure. But, yeah, it's still pretty good up. Even up in the Tennessee, you got a chance for some tornadoes, too. More marginal side, but there's still a chance. Oh, we should take a sounding right there, Mississippi. Yeah, look at that. That's really close to a PDS sounding. We have 4,000 joules potentially surface-based, guys. That kind of energy could produce a significant outbreak. I will admit the high risk was a little much last time because, of course, there was uncertainties. I think a moderate risk would have fitted that event just fine. But you never know, so that's why you got to be prepared. Bulk shear will be plentiful, as you guys can see. As we go through the day on Wednesday, more stuff comes in. Look at that shear coming in from the backside with the cold front. That's so supportive for severe weather. It should keep storms organized. And then look at the helicity values. They start to kick up extremely well in central Tennessee. Now, if those helicity values went into the Mississippi, they would be so bad. But Tennessee, you have the helicity, you have the shear. Instability is still a question, and we have about mid-60 dew points, which the moisture's there. Now, if the instability can creep a little farther north and become a little bit more unstable, then Tennessee would be under the gun too. As the Storm Prediction Center stated, there is some uncertainty still of how far north that it's going to make it. But looking here, I mean, look at that. Guys, that's like 600. That's insane. Of course, that's marginal severe. Oh, man, that stinks. Like, the velocity's off the charts early afternoon, but, like, it doesn't come back. Like, oh, that's just horrible timing. Wow. But then, you see, guys, the helicity starts to pick back up again. We have marginal tornado. Very thin line of Cape, about 500 joules is probably expected in Tennessee. But we still can't rule out higher amounts, you know. That's when it starts to really pick up late in the evening. And there's a thin line of Cape, about 200 joules. So Tennessee is still very uncertain whether you guys will have enough instability to produce severe weather or if you guys won't. So that's uncertain. Energy velocity index. Look at those numbers. There's a 6. PDS tornado right off the charts. I mean, these are scary soundings this early on. You guys see the supercell composite? As it moves east, let's take a sounding in Alabama. I saw PDS, yeah, right there. Run it back a few. Oh, shoot, right there, guys. Look at that. That's a PDS off the charts. 2,500 joules, which is very favorable. That's an extremely, like, well-presented environment for significant tornadoes. And now we look at the parameters. So this is a question that everybody wants to know. Well, here's your answer, and it's not looking too good. Especially if you live in Mississippi, you got values 5, 6. I mean, definitely very good for tornadoes. Like, I think that there could be some long track, strong tornadoes if everything verifies in the correct order of what we need it to go. Now we're going to look at mid-level rapture to see if the hail is going to be there. And it doesn't, well, not ruling out the potential for some minor hail, like up to the quarters to maybe $50. And maybe even if we get more raptures, we could see hail up to a hen egg size, but that really wouldn't be a factor. I think it's going to be damaging straight on winds and maybe some long track tornadoes and strong tornadoes. Can't be ruled out. Now that's very far out, so I would not make a claim, but we also need to talk about that too. Oops, shoot. We need to go to the Storm Prediction Center. As you guys can see, we do have a severe weather event across Oklahoma, but that's not the main story. So day 4 is what we need to talk about here. So see, there is uncertainty of how far northeast the probabilities. So they say changes in probabilities are expected on the northwestern and northeast edges. So they need to. That's on their uncertainties. Changes are going to be needed for northeast sections. So, like I said before, they were saying a lot of uncertainty. But if this verifies, damaging wind, tornado, hail, and tornadoes will all be possible, especially, and there could be some strong long track if it verifies correctly. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.